On today's elevator parts video, we're working on this Schindler Haughton car panel. Now this thing's pretty awesome, and you can see here it's in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of wear and tear on it, but that is to be expected. You may also notice that we are missing some parts around the rings of the buttons. We'll get to that later. Turning this thing to the back, we can see all the wiring on it. And believe it or not, most of this wiring is what we will be using for the final product. We just have to take some of the wires off. So this up here is the fire service light, along with the fire service key switch. You can kind of see how that works. We also have the fire service buzzer, which is this big blue thing. And then we have all of our floor buttons. And you can see they already have the lamp sockets and a lot of the wiring that we will need to make this thing work. So here I have an extra button, so we can take a closer look at these. And pulling it apart, you can see there's three main parts. We've got this little ring here, and this is what we're missing on the panel that we need to make. Here's the button itself. And there's a little hole where the light can go up into. And then we have the little frame. And you'll see down there's the little white piece, and that presses onto the contacts, which completes the circuit. Now this button is missing it, but there's a metal sliding piece that's supposed to lock the button down. We'll see that again later. And now pulling off the plate reveals all of the guts behind, and you can see how it's held on there with the metal frame. And then there's all the buttons. And you can also see those little metal sliders I was talking about before. And those keep the button from falling out. You pull the little pin out and remove the cap, and underneath you can see the light bulb. And this is how you actually change the light bulbs on these buttons. So it's time to begin working on the panel, and first I'm going to remove these little L brackets because they're not super necessary. And now it's time to begin wiring the panel, or as I really should say, unwiring the panel. I'm taking off all the wires that would originally have gone to the controller. This is to let the controller know that the button's been pressed, which leaves all the yellow and white wires behind. And most of these wires are already hooked up in the way that I need. All I have to do is slightly change a few of the wiring configurations. And now I have to make 12 of these things on my 3D printer. So I went ahead and drew up a design on my computer. It's a little bit different than the original, but there's a reason for that. And now we get to start 3D printing.
This will be done soon.
Yay.
Yay!
Well, now that I'm dead tired, I can finally put these rings on the buttons, and you can see here they look really nice. And just to give it some finishing touches, just gonna wipe down the panel, get all the dirt, fingerprints, and dust off, and just make this thing look really nice. And finally, after many hours, mainly sitting around waiting for the 3D printer, this thing is finally finished. And you can see here with our 3D printed pieces, they look really good, and it almost looks original. And you can see also here I put the incandescent bulbs in, and all of the buttons work, and it looks really nice. Now for the fire service, I have to cheat a little bit, but in the end it still works, and you can see that the fire service lights up. And don't worry, the key is still hooked up. So that's it for this project. I'm really happy with the way this came out, especially with those 3D printed pieces. It was definitely worth the wait. So thank you guys for watching this project video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.